There are thousands of DOS games. Most of them are terrible. I play one selected at random with a 20-minute time limit and record it live. This is the result. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Random DOS Game Show. And we have a title today from Electronic Arts, EA Sports in particular. So it's a sports game obviously. And it looks like we've got a basketball court. So it's going to be a basketball game. Digging the intro theme so far with MT32 music. Got someone coming in for a slam dunk. And hey, I know that player. Michael Jordan in Flight, 1992. Alright. He's just going to play the credits, so we'll just skip past that real quick. But yeah, Michael Jordan, man, what a player. For people who for viewers who may be too young to remember Michael Jordan, he was like the basketball player back in the 1990s, the star player for the Chicago Bulls. He was so well known that even people like myself who didn't follow basketball in the slightest knew who he was. And not only was he well known for his basketball exploits, what he's best known for, obviously, by and large, but he also was featured on a number of like commercials for like Nike shoes, and probably most famously for his media career, he starred in the live-action animated combination movie Space Jam, or at least the original Space Jam. But this is kind of an interesting case, though, because despite his prominence in other media, Michael Jordan didn't take a lot of offers to be featured in video games. And in fact, I believe he actually forbade his likeness being used in quite a few games, including some games that you wouldn't think. Like, for instance, he's nowhere to be found in the NBA Jam games, which are probably the best-known retro basketball games from this era. But anyway, without any further ado, let's see what we're in for. So we have a 3-on-3 exhibition, 3-on-3 tournament, or resume the 3-on-3 tournament. So it's a 3-on-3 format, obviously. Alright, so we got a sportscaster here. Hello everyone, and welcome to Michael Jordan's 3-on-3 exhibition, coming to you from Chicago, Illinois. I'm your host, Ron Barr. We've got an exciting game for you today. Alrighty. It's Wilmington versus Venice Beach for a single game of all-out war. Let's review the team rosters. Alright, so we got Venice Beach, showing the lineup here. And I guess we're playing as Wilmington for this. So this is an interesting paradox. They were able to get Michael Jordan's likeness to be used in the game, but it looks like they didn't get permission to use the Chicago Bulls teams. So I don't think these are official NBA teams that we're playing with, even though we've got Michael Jordan playing. But anyway, so we've got the stats. We don't really have anything in terms of hard numbers here, but we've got basically a what would you call it? A synopsis of what each character's strengths and weaknesses are, what each player is. So yeah, Michael Jordan is like your all-rounder. He's good at just about everything. This guy looks to be good on defense. This guy also is good on defense. Good speed and stamina. So we got a decent defense team, it looks like, with this. The teams are out on the court and ready to go. Let's get this exhibition underway. Alright. Oh, here we go. We can choose quite a few options. So we can decide for the game length by time or the number of buckets scored. I think it was set to 2 by default. We'll just go ahead and stick with that. Let's go ahead. I think probably street ball would be the easiest difficulty, I would imagine. Fouls are fine. Music should be fine, I think. Alright, let's go ahead. Play hoops. Alright, so... And I did read the manual a little bit right before playing this, but I am going in blind otherwise. This is a really unique, I think, take for controlling a basketball game because this is entirely mouse-driven. None of the keyboard keys, besides, I think, some basic camera functions and obviously, like, quitting out of the match and such, actually do anything. And I think I actually have to do the clicking for the opposition, too, yeah, to get them to get the ball into play. It's kind of interesting. And basically you navigate Michael Jordan here by just navigating the mouse. And you can pass by left clicking. And I think you shoot by right clicking. So let's go. Nice. We made a slam dunk there. Yeah, we got a little FMV video of Jordan congratulating us for that, so that's cool. But I gotta say, these controls, though, they're not the best. They seem rather finicky. Ball not cleared by Wilmington. Oops. Alright. So I guess that didn't count. I should probably mention that I really don't know much about the rules for basketball and such. I've actually attended a fair number of like local college basketball matches, but I'm still a little uncertain sometimes about the finer points for the rules. But looks like the opposition's got the ball. See if we can't. It looks like we tried to prevent them from scoring. But it looks like they made a net anyway. So, pass it to, let's see, yeah. Pass it to Jordan. Let's go in. Yeah. Scores for Wilmington. But, yeah, I gotta say, though, I think this game would have been a lot better if they had stuck with a more traditional, like, even if it was a hybrid mouse and keyboard layout or something, because this is very imprecise, I feel. Let's see. We're only using one half of the court, too. I guess maybe it's because we're in a 3-on-3 format, but just go in for the slam dunks. It seems to be a pretty good way of handling things. Okay. Also, too, even though they've kind of gone all in on some visual elements, like with the FMV segments, this is the FMV segments for Jordan there, and what could be maybe considered, yeah, like a digitized scanning of the players here, and making sprites out of them. It is lacking in other areas, because, like, for instance, we're playing in a black void, you know, there's, like, no audience, there's no running commentary by any announcers, or anything like that. So it's one of those things where I can kind of see what they were going for. I think they were trying to make like a really accessible basketball game, maybe for people, maybe even people like myself who don't ordinarily play basketball games or sports games in general. But if you put Michael Jordan on there, that might entice people who ordinarily wouldn't play these types of games to try it out. And so maybe because of that, they were going for a more accessible approach. But yeah, I'm not sold on this one. I am playing on the easiest difficulty too. I mean, they are putting up a decent opposition given the difficulty, but alright, end of quarter. We got one last second basket there at the end. So I don't think there's any breaks, it looks like. Right? Yeah, we just go straight into the next quarter. Venice Beach has scored again. I think I'll just play till this quarter is over. Because, yeah, this isn't, it's by no means the greatest game I ever played. Jordan didn't seem too pleased with that. But, hey, we still got the ball, and we still scored, so we're all good. Right, so Like, I'm not sure either what, like, the mechanics are for, like, trying to steal the ball from the opposition and such, too, but just try there. Nice. So I get the feeling we're probably going to win this, or at least based off of, yeah, based off of the score so far, if we keep up this momentum. Whoa, 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 who has the ball? I can't even see what's going on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I can get a little confusing sometimes with all the bodies in quick succession. Out of bounds on Venice Beach. Okay, so we're back here. How about I go over here, if I can. Close. Out of bounds on Wilmington that time. So it's interesting. For the out of bounds, we go like all the way back to our starting positions rather than like in a standard game of basketball, we just take it from the sidelines for wherever the ball went out of bounds on. I'm not sure if that's a quirk of the 3v3 format or not, but yeah, maybe that was a successful block. Well, Venice Beach scored again, but we're ahead by a very comfortable margin now. I don't think we have anything to worry about unless we really flub up. All right, nice. Almost there. Let's go ahead and... Probably gonna make it. No, he missed. Okay. We bring it in? Ah, all not cleared again. All right, there. Well, it looked like I may have made an attempt to grab it there. So I think what you have to do is that you have to left click when you're right next to the opposition when they currently have possession of the ball. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and finish up this quarter quick because I'm getting a little bored of this now. I have to say. So I don't want to have this drag on for too long. All right. Yep. All right. Kevin Robinson scored for Venice Beach. Can we get one last shot in? Nice. So 28-12, possibly 14 if they get one more basket in before all is said and done. Hey, I managed to smack it away from him. So yeah, we won by 28-12, end of half. And they're running off the court. Okay. What else you got for us? That was a thrill-picked first half. Let's check out the stats. All right. We'll go ahead and check out the stats. Oh, just showing, yeah, okay. All right. Let's see. What happens if we had done? And hit done again. All right, let's take it to the next half, but let's go ahead. Hit escape. Quit game. Are you sure? Yes. Loading takes a little long, I gotta say. But there we go. So that's Michael Jordan in Flight. And it's a 3v3 basketball game that obviously features the likeness of Michael Jordan. That's probably intended to be its main selling point. But like I said before, I wasn't really sold on this. Like I said, I think I see what they were going for. And credit where credit is due, especially when you consider in this day and age of formulaic games by EA Sports that the only thing they change are the early rosters, and sometimes in fact they even like remove features in order to peddle microtransactions and the like. it is kind of a breath of air to go back to days like this when they were willing to try bold and experimental new controls and features. Unfortunately, though, I would say this is a case where it didn't really land. And I think if they had stuck to maybe a more traditional keyboard or keyboard and mouse driven experience, or maybe allowed for joystick support or controller support, then this might have been a better experience. But as it stands right now, this just kind of seems more like an evolutionary dead end when it comes to innovation in sports games. And if you're interested in retro games that tried out new and innovative control schemes, then the DOS gaming library is full of such examples, several of which we've covered on this series, and some of which were more successful than this one. So if that interests you, consider subscribing. But that's all for today. Just goes to show that even if you follow Nike's mantra and just do it, sometimes what you do doesn't always turn out quite right. And until next time, take care, everyone.